history of herbs, Echinacea. Echinacea has been utilized for hundreds of years in North America, in part because it's a botanical that is native to this continent. At first, this herb was used extensively by Native Americans well into the 19th and 20th centuries. In the late 1800s, Joseph Mayer was a traveling salesman who went from town to town peddling goods from his wagon. He learned from the Plains Indians the virtues of the Kansas root. The Indians have been using it for hundreds of years for wounds, colds, and snake bites. Mayer made an alcohol tincture of his root and claimed his tonic was a cure for virtually anything. He traveled the western frontier selling his tonic, and if you ever heard the term snake oil salesman, this is where the term originated from. By the early 1800s, there was a huge influx of Chinese immigrants. They became a great cheap labor force while suffering from racial prejudice as they worked the fields, deep in mines, or building railroads. The Chinese brought with them their traditional medicines, with one happening to be snake oil, which had soothing properties that helped with arthritis and bursitis. Chinese snake oil was rich in omega-3s and was a truly effective medicine, but because there was no regulation and no shortage of unscrupulous business people, suddenly the market was flooded with snake oils that ranged from great to absolutely worthless, and thus the term snake oil became associated with quack medicine. Mayer's Echinacea tincture was labeled as snake oil. Mayer, however, wanted to find the root properties of his tonic, so he shipped his elixir to Professor John King, one of the nation's leading physicians and herbalists, and author of King's American Dispensary. King informed Mayer that he couldn't identify any herb from his tonic, so Mayer sent off the entire Echinacea plant to King, who put the entire project on the back burner. Professor King's wife was dying of cancer, and nothing had helped thus far, and King feared her end was near. A few months later, Professor King's wife had a full recovery, and King professed that his medicines saved her. She, however, to his astonishment, was not following his medical advice and was in fact taking Professor Mayer's snake oil that King shelved. The current consensus in the field of Echinacea research is that the plant can have immune stimulatory effects or anti-inflammatory effects on immunity. There is a growing community of scientists who attribute the usefulness of Echinacea in treating infection to its ability to block the inflammatory response, thereby suppressing symptoms. This stimulatory effect may aid the body in warding off infection and can be helpful in preventing colds and the flu. Thank you for watching The History of Herbs.